to the Is Academic YouTube channel.
Alright, so welcome back, students. Today we will be going back into the part 2 of our video, which is the past paper, the 2022 past paper. Today I have my grade 6 students here with me who are actually doing this exact paper, and we'll be answering these questions together. So we are going to be starting with question 25 that is, and question 25 says, this person was once the head of a communist/socialist form of government. So students, is it A, Sir Arthur Lewis, B, President Fidel Castro, C, Marcus Garvey, or D, Dr. Eric Williams? Yes? One person unmute your mic.
President Fidel Castro is the answer of number 25.
Excellent. President Fidel Castro, that is B for number 25. Can anybody tell me who Sir Arthur Lewis is? Anybody knows who he is? Anybody has an idea?
He is the man on the $100 bill.
Excellent. Great job. Yes, he is. He's a man on the $100 bill. And he was actually a St. Lucian economist, and he contributed a lot to the field of economic development and whatnot in St. Lucia. And he was actually a professor of political economy. I believe that was at Princeton University. So when it comes to economic development and all these financial stuff and whatnot, Sir Arthur Lewis was that person. Okay. Anybody knows who Marcus Garvey was? Marcus Garvey. Well, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. That's his full name. Anybody knows? That's on with your mic. Are you good on Google? Nobody knows? Yes.
He was a black activist.
Excellent. He was a black activist, and he was actually from Jamaica, right? He was a political activist, that is, and he was the founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, or UNIA, and it was formed in Jamaica in 1914. That was July of 1914. And his whole aim of forming that group, that's the Universal Negro Improvement Association, was basically to achieve black nationalism through the celebration of African history and culture. So that was the things that he really, he was really excited about these things, and he really wanted to see an improvement in the way that we celebrated African history and culture, and therefore he formed that movement. So that's Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and he was from Jamaica. How about Dr. Eric Williams? Anybody knows who Dr. Eric Williams was?
Yes, I know.
Yes,
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Very good. Repeat that again, please.
He was the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Excellent. He was the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and he was the one who led Trinidad and Tobago towards independence, right? And at the time, he was called the father of the nation, and he had that question actually. Some students I saw, especially from the face-to-face class, I saw that they either had B or D for that answer. And Dr. Eric Williams, why they would confuse it is because he practiced pragmatic socialism, right? But it wasn't entirely like his government was a socialist government. That was just the practices that he did. And why he did that is because he basically wanted Trinidad to become developed, right? He wanted investors to come in. He wanted Trinidad to be like the gold in the Caribbean and become the most wealthiest country in the Caribbean. So this is why he had that approach. He had that pragmatic socialism approach, but he wasn't entirely a socialist. But Fidel Castro, on the other hand, was a communist leader. And as a matter of fact, I would consider President Fidel Castro to be one of the most influential leaders in the Caribbean because you know why? Fidel Castro was a political leader from 1959 to 2008. If you do the quick maths, we're doing mental maths one time for the person who asked me. 1959 to 2008. How many years is that? Hmm. Quick maths. Let's go. How many years? Uh-huh.
49.
Excellent. 49 years. So Fidel Castro was the political leader of Cuba for 49 years. Imagine that. 49 years. Right? And why I consider him to be one of the most influential leaders in the Caribbean is because he was the one that transformed Cuba into the first communist state in the Western Hemisphere. That is like the Caribbean and whatnot. We never had a communist state in the Caribbean or in the Western Hemisphere. And at a point in time, he became a symbol of communist revolution in the Latin America because none of the other Latin American countries had that kind of thing. You know, they didn't know about communism and whatever. Everybody was democracy and all these different things, republic and everything. They didn't know about communism. And Fidel Castro was the one who actually introduced that. And that's why I consider him to be a very influential leader. So anytime a question like this comes up, they tell you this person was once the head of a communist / socialist form of government, then that would be President Fidel Castro. So do you guys understand number 25?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Yes, so let's move on to question 26 and we're moving on to the section of groups. Now this one, the question asks, somebody mic is on mute, please, mute for me, please. Thank you. 26. Which of these is the main reason why people join groups? Is it A, to be able to control others, B, for a sense of belonging, C, to get discounts, or D, to be able to wear a uniform / symbol? Somebody tell me. Which one is it?
For sense of belonging.
Very good. For a sense of belonging. And that question explains itself. B, for a sense of belonging. So 26, B. Number 27. The emblem below represents the 4-H club. The 4-H's represent the head, heart, hands, and dash. Is it
C.
very good?
Health.
C, health. Excellent work. So A was happiness, B, honor, C, health, D, health, and the correct answer is C, health. Excellent work so far. Let's move on to question 28. All right, question 28. The Dominica National Council of Women, DNCW, and Dominica Conservation Association, DCA, are both dash in Dominica. Is it A,
Miss
government?
non-gov.
Excuse?
Miss, the answer is non-governmental organization.
All right. So after I'm finished reading the answers or the selections, you guys will say the answers, okay? So A, government funded organizations, B, trade unions, C, social clubs, or D, non-governmental organizations. And you guys actually answered correctly already. And the answer would be D, non-governmental organizations. And what do you guys think is meant by non-governmental organizations?
This is not a form of government.
Right, very good. It's not associated with the government. It's like they're on their own thing. No, they don't have any government leaders and nothing like that. They have their own constitution, their own rules, and all of that. So yes, that is what a non-governmental organization is. Excellent. Now we're moving on to resources. Number 29. Which of the following natural resources listed below is used to manufacture cement? Is it A, limestone, B, asphalt, C, natural gas, or D, crude oil? Which one is the correct answer, students?
B limestone.
The asphalt.
I'm hearing different answers. Let's
Miss
see.
B asphalt.
Okay,
Miss, it's A.
very good.
Limestone.
Very good. The answer is A, limestone. Excellent. Remember, cement is actually made up of 75% limestone and 25% clay, right? So when they ask us which of the following natural resources below, listed below is used to manufacture cement, then it would definitely be limestone. Just think of cement. Well, I heard someone said asphalt. If asphalt was added to cement, don't you think it would be black instead of gray? Don't you think so?
Yes, Miss, because asphalt is used to make roads.
Right, it has tie in it, it's black. So even if you don't know, I always tell students, even if you don't know an answer, always try to reason it out. You know what asphalt is. You know that is what they use on the road. It black, black, black. I remember when I was going to school, some students used to as a diss, as we would say, somebody would say you black like asphalt. Although that's not a nice thing to say, but I'm just drawing reference for you guys. To just tell you that asphalt is something that is dark in color, whereas limestone is very light in color. So if ever you guys have passed under the cliff, there's this section, the cliff in Fokole, there's this section that they recently dug out, and you'd realize that the stone is very white. Now limestone, it is actually like almost white in color. The chalk that your teacher uses to write on the board, it is actually made up of limestone. It has some limestone in it, or what we call calcium carbonate. Okay, so the chalk that your teacher uses to write, it has limestone in it. So anytime you think of limestone, and it's something that is white and chalky in color, okay? But asphalt, on the other hand, is something that is dark. So cement, remember, cement is made up of 75% limestone and 25% clay, okay? Everybody got that?
Yes, Miss.
Excellent work. All right, let's move on to number 30. Crude oil, natural gas, coal, and nuclear energy are what types of resources? Is it A, renewable, B, man-made, C, non-renewable, or is it D, inexhaustible?
Miss
Excellent.
non-renewable.
C is the correct answer. Non-renewable. No. Non-renewable. The correct answer for number 30 is C. Those who tell me renewable, why do you say renewable?
Because it can be made back, but it taking long to come back.
Okay. Anybody else has an answer to tell me why they think it's renewable?
Miss,
Mm-hmm.
why I think it's renewable is non-renewable because it takes a certain period of time for it to renew itself.
Anybody else? What did you say? Why you think it's renewable?
Non-renewable.
So your answer is C, non-renewable, right?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, those who are saying renewable, tell me why you think it's renewable. So yes, the answer is C, non-renewable and not renewable. Remember, non-renewable, like these here mentioned, crude oil, natural gas, coal, nuclear energy. These are non-renewable energy resources, okay? And what that means is that once they are used up, they cannot be replaced. So once nuclear energy is used up, it cannot be replaced. Once coal is used up, it cannot be replaced. Once natural gas and crude oil is used up, they cannot be replaced, right? And this is why it is a non-renewable energy, Okay? Is that understood?
Yes, miss.
Right. Can anybody name some renewable energy resources for me?
Water.
Okay, any more? Any more? I heard water. There's wind. There's solar. Any more? Right. So that means you guys need to review your renewable and non-renewable resources. Don't make it confuse you, okay? Remember, non-renewable resources, once it is used up, it cannot be replaced. Whereas renewable resources, it can replenish its own self, okay? It's like solar energy, water energy, wind energy. It is always there. It almost cannot be exhausted, all right? Is that understood?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so make sure you guys review that again. Question 31. Soil can be considered a resource because is it A, can be found everywhere on earth, B, can be eroded by heavy rains, C, is used by both plants and animals, or is it D, is classified as loamy, sandy, or clayey?
Miss.
Miss C.
Miss C.
Miss, my answer is C. It is used by both plants and animals.
Okay, how many people say A? How many people say A? Just say me because I can't see the chat right now. Just say me.
Miss.
Okay, that's one person. Two persons. Okay. Those of you who say C, say me.
Miss me.
Me.
Me, miss.
All right. C is the popular answer and C is the correct answer. So C says is used by both plants and animals. Can anybody tell me what is the definition of a resource?
Miss,
Mm-hmm.
if it can be used by a living thing, anything that is around us that can be used.
Very good. Anybody else can give me another definition?
A resource is something you find in your environment that can be used.
Okay. All right, you guys are both correct. So resources, they basically provide, they supply us, right? And these are things that are around us that in most cases that we need, right? And especially by living things, that is. Now, although A can be considered correct because yes, soil can be found everywhere on earth, but C is the most correct answer here because soil, it can be used by both plants and animals. Okay. um well, we know how soil is used by plants in terms of support and nutrition and all of that, but how about animals? How do you think soil can be a resource for animals? Anybody?
It's to live in.
Very good. Excellent. To live in. A lot of animals actually use soil as their homes. Can you give me an example of an animal that uses soil as their home?
It's ants.
Right, ants. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm looking for that wiggly one.
Worms.
Very good. Worms, earthworms. Excellent. So that would be a resource to them. So you see, both plants and animals can use soil as a resource. Okay? So the correct answer for number 31 is C. Excellent. So let's move on. Let's go to question 32. Question 32. I'm going to zoom in as much as possible. So just have a look at the picture. So the picture below shows the mining of bauxite. Okay, so the first thing that I would do if I was doing my grade 6 exams in 2022, I would basically underline bauxite. They tell me that they are mining bauxite here. And then I go on to read my question, right? They're telling us here, in which country do you think this picture was taken? Is it A, Dominica, hold on, B, Antigua, C, St. Lucia, or D, Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Excellent.
Jamaica.
Excellent. Jamaica. Anytime you hear bauxite being mentioned, just look for Jamaica. All right? Anybody knows what bauxite is used to make? We use it almost every day.
Medication.
What's that?
For medication.
Okay. I haven't really heard of that, but I could always do some research on it. But this one is more common. It's more common. We use it almost every day, especially on Sundays to cover.
Aluminium.
Very good. Very good. Aluminum. So foil paper is actually made up, well, it is actually made by bauxite. Okay? Excellent job. Number 33. Which of these best explains why deforestation is a contributing factor of global warming? Is it A? Excessive tree removal has reduced the amount of readily available shade? Is it B? Fewer trees mean that there will be more oxygen in the atmosphere, which reflects heat? Is it C? Fewer trees mean there will be more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which traps heat? Or is it D? Excessive tree removal has reduced the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So tell me, what is your answer for number
The C.
33?
Yes.
Excellent. C. Fewer trees mean that there will be more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which traps heat. Now remember, trees act as a carbon sink, or if you want to think of it like that, as a carbon dioxide sponge. So it basically soaks up all the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Because why do trees need carbon dioxide, students?
Means oxygen.
How was the process called?
It's photosynthesis.
Exactly. Thank you. Trees need carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. This is how they make their own food, right? And when they do that, the byproduct that they give off, or the excretion, whatever you want to call it, or I would just say byproduct, what they give off is oxygen, and we need oxygen. So if there are not enough trees, that means there is more carbon dioxide in the air and less oxygen in the air, right? So this is how global warming is. This is how deforestation, sorry, is actually a contributing factor to global warming, because carbon dioxide actually heats up the atmosphere. So if the trees are not there to act as a sponge for the carbon dioxide, that means that there's going to be a lot more carbon dioxide or a lot more heat in the atmosphere. Is that understood by everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Excellent. Let's move on to question 34. All right. Question 34. Oops. The establishment of a forest in an area where there was none before is known as, is it A, reforestation, B, afforestation, C, deforestation, or D, disforestation? Number 34.
Afforestation.
Excellent. Afforestation. And what is the meaning of deforestation, by the way?
The cutting down of trees.
Right, the removal of trees. Excellent. So whereas afforestation is actually replanting the trees, deforestation is the removal of these trees. Great job. Number 35. Forest reserves in Dominica were established mainly to, is it A, prevent people from going to these areas, B, make homes for the Cicero parrots, C, get prizes from Greenpeace, or D, protect some of our natural resources? What is the answer for question 35?
Miss D.
Very good.
Miss
D,
D.
protect some of our natural resources. And that's actually one of the main functions of the forest reserve, to protect natural resources. So you guys are very correct with your answer for 35, which is D, protect some of our natural resources. Let's move on to question 36. The diagram below illustrates how geothermal energy can be generated. So here we have the hot production well. We see it's going up and it's going to the powerhouse, and that is the turbine and the generator. We see there's a cooling tower, and the cooling tower goes down. There's a pump right here, and here has cool water injection well. And here says geothermally heated reservoir, right? So that's our picture. That is a geothermal site. The question now, this form of energy can be generated from, is it A, hot springs, B, rivers, C, cold springs, or D, factory worker?
A.
A, Miss.
Hot
It's
springs.
A.
Excellent. And
A.
why do you say A? Somebody explain for me. Why do you say A
Miss,
for your answer?
Miss, Miss,
because you see here, it says the hot water goes into it and the cold water goes back down into the ground. But instead of the hot water, it's one that providing the water up to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And remember, they are talking about energy, right? So, although yes, rivers can provide energy in terms of hydro, giving that hydraulic power of the water and whatnot. Cold springs not necessarily, and then factory worker is just the outlier here. It's like it just did. It doesn't know what it's doing there. So when always remember when you're answering your questions, elimination. Go through the process of elimination. Which one makes the most sense and which one doesn't make sense? So D, I would cross that out. C, I would cross that out. So I would have A and B, right? Now they're telling us this form of energy can be generated from, and that is geothermal energy. Now, if you know about geothermal energy, you would know that it's actually steam, right? That is that energy that is provided to the powerhouse, and that steam is what actually moves the turbines and the generator. That is what that creates the electricity, because geothermal energy actually has the capacity to produce electricity. And the production site that they are showing us here is actually the entire process of how this is created. Now with geothermal energy, what happens is that you need to have cold water, and then you're going to have the steam. Now, anytime something hot is added to something cold, what happens?
Miss, it starts to evaporate.
Right, it starts to bubble up, or steam is created, right? Just imagine you have cold ice and you pour hot water on it. It's going to create steam, right? So this is what is happening. The cold water, just a minute, the cold water is going down here, right? So cool water is going down here. Now below here, actually it's very hot, because geothermal energy, what they are doing is that they are going way below the earth. Remember, I think that was question number 3 or whatnot. They were asking about the diagram of the earth. We had the crust, we had the core, we had the inner core, and the mantle, and all these different things, right? Now, with geothermal energy, what they are doing is that they are drilling way below into the Earth's core, right? And when they do that, the deeper they go is the hotter it gets. So just imagine that that cold water is being placed into where all these heat is below here. So like below here, that area is very hot. So seeing that is hot, what is going to happen is that the steam is now going to go up here. And when the steam goes up here, the because of the amount of steam that is there, it actually has the power to spin the turbines and generate electricity. Now, the electricity, the unit for it would be megawatts. So that area, I think it's in Loda that we have here. This is what they're trying to do in that area. So according to the amount of steam that is created and geothermal energy, it is more viable in how would I say it, in areas that has a lot of volcanic activity and these different things. So like Dominica, Iceland actually has a lot of geothermal sites. Although that's a little, you're thinking of Iceland, this area is very hot, right? So yes, Iceland has a lot. I believe it could maybe be done in Martinique, but for now, Dominica is the area where they are trying to get geothermal energy up. So yes, question. Yes, Kadori. Somebody hand is up. Somebody has a question.
No, miss.
Okay, so we can move on. Does everybody understand why it's hot springs? That's the answer. Everybody understands. All right, so let's move on to question 37. All right. 37. One one major benefit of tourism to Dominica is that it A creates employment, B increases traffic in Roseau, sorry, C lowers the cost of transportation, or D increases the cost of living. Remember, one major benefit.
Miss, it creates employment.
Yeah.
Very good. A creates employment. Remember, it's a major benefit. All the rest that is there, it's disadvantages, whereas A is a benefit. Okay, very good. Question 38. Which of the following is not true? They have that underlined, they have it in bold, so you have to be careful. Not true about tourism. Is it A? Local businesses may suffer as tourists choose to go to international chains and shops, such as fast food outlets? Is it B? Locals always appreciate their culture and do not adopt the culture of the tourists. C. Citizens may benefit from the improved services that is used to attract tourists. Or is it D? There may be some damage to the natural environment to make land available for building new hotels. So which of the following is not true for question 38?
B.
B.
I hear B, I hear A. Which one is it? Local businesses may suffer as tourists choose to go to international chains and shops such as food outlets. Or B, locals always appreciate their culture and do not adopt the culture of the tourists. Make up your minds.
A.
A.
Miss A. A,
Alright,
miss.
the correct
Miss
answer
A.
is A. Because just imagine you're a tourist coming from America. America have all the fast food in the world. There's no way you're going to come to Dominica and look for a McDonald's and a KFC. You're going to look for a Big San and Lamouille, a Big San cheese, a crab calaloo. You're going to look for the local food, right? You're not going to look for no fast food because you're already accustomed with that. As a tourist, you want to have new experiences when you travel. And this is why people travel, for the new experiences. But B, locals always appreciate their culture and do not adopt the culture of the tourists. That is how do I say it? That's not the case. So this one, that's not the case, right? The correct answer would be A. Local businesses may suffer. Remember, they said not true. Remember, we just said one of the benefits, the major benefits of tourism is that it creates employment. So there's no way that local businesses is going to suffer. Okay, they're actually going to prosper because the tourists coming in, they purchase from them, they give them their little US and whatever, and life is good. So do you guys understand that question?
Yes, miss.
All right, excellent.
Miss.
Okay.
Very good. Question 39. The people seen in the image below work in this industry. I'm zooming in on the image so you can see better. So what scene is this?
Miss at a hospital or a health center.
Very good. So is that A, primary industry, B, secondary, C, tertiary, or is it D, digital?
C.
Miss, it's a C.
Tertiary.
C.
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 Secondary.
C.
The person who's saying secondary, why do you say secondary industry? What industry does healthcare workers fall under?
C.
Right, it's tertiary. So secondary is not correct. The correct answer is tertiary industry. Okay? So healthcare workers fall under the tertiary industry. Alright? So take note of that. Let's move on to question 40. We're almost at the end. Question 40. Oops. Which of the following statements is not a reason why some developing countries have not benefited from global trade? Because is it A, trade agreements with other countries are not always fair? Is it B, they do not have a range of natural resources? Is it C, they do not have enough money to transport their goods? Is it D, they are independent nations and do not need to trade with others? So what do you guys say is
Miss
B?
D.
B. For question 40, you say the answer is B. B for bat,
D.
D for dog, right?
Miss D.
Very good. D. They are independent nations and do not need to trade with others. That is not exactly right. Even though you're an independent nation, no man is an island. You're always going to need something from another country because your country isn't necessarily self-sustain. It's not necessarily self-sustaining, meaning that it can produce everything that the people need. You're always going to need oil from there, flour from there, rice from there, and whatnot. So therefore, trade is always needed. So therefore, that is not a reason why some developing countries have not benefited from global trade. Okay? Moving on to question 41, social issues. Kadori, can you read the question for me, please?
Yes, miss.
Mm-hmm.
A natural increase in the population of a country occurs when
Read the answers.
A. Immigration exceeds emigration.
Mm-hmm.
B. The birth rate exceeds the death rate.
Mm-hmm.
C. Migration is greater than the birth rate. D. The death rate and birth rate are similar.
All right. So question 41. Which one do you guys think is the answer for question 41?
D.
B for bat?
B. B.
Okay, very good. The answer is B. I haven't heard some people. Let me go on meet. Jay, I haven't heard from you as yet. Hi, Lima, I haven't heard from you.
Miss B.
Very good. The answer is B.
B.
The birth rate exceeds the death rate. And what does that mean? What is the meaning of birth rate?
Miss one. A baby is born.
Right. That is basically the amount of babies being born, right? And what is the meaning of death rate?
The amount of people
Some
dying.
people
Very
die.
good. The
Amount
amount
of
of
people
people
that
dying.
dies in a year.
Right. Very good. So If the birth rate is exceeding the death rate, that means more people are being born than people are dying. So therefore, this will give a natural, remember, natural increase. That's the main word here. So question 41, the answer is B. J, read question 42 for me, please.
Which of the which of the following is not a factor of how a family structure can be changed? A. Husband becoming a widower. B. Baby sister being born. C. Woman remarrying. D. Brother getting older.
All right. So which one do you think is the correct answer for question 42? 42?
Miss B.
B. Did I hear B?
Miss B.
Miss,
B
brother
for
getting
bad.
older.
Oh,
Miss D.
oh,
C.
D.
Miss
Oh,
it's D.
huh. I nearly resigned me. Mama. Remember they said,
You, you never resign because of somebody?
no, I heard somebody say B. I heard a few people say
Miss,
B.
because somebody did say B.
Hmm.
D.
I
Which of
said
the
D.
following is not, remember students, you have to be careful with that. I do not want you guys to make that mistake in exams. Is not a factor of how family structure can be changed. Husband becoming a widower, that means he don't have a wife anymore, so that changes the family structure. Alright? A baby sister being born, that is an extra person being added to the family. So that changes the family structure. A woman remarrying, that means she now has a new husband. That changes the family structure. But a brother getting older, that has nothing to do with the change of the family structure. That is just him increasing in age. Right? So remember, you have to be careful. Be careful when answering your questions. Silly mistakes give you silly marks. And we do not want silly marks. We want pretty marks. Okay? So the answer for question 42 is D. D for dog, brother getting older. Is that understood by everyone?
Yes, Miss.
All right.
Yes, Miss.
Very good. Moving on to question 43. Easy stuff. Look at the family tree below and answer question 43. Right? Shane wants to share. So first of all, you look at the diagram. Ranji married to Margaret. They make Joseph, Kim, um, and Anton. And Joseph marries Sylvia. Kim no have no wife. Kim doesn't have a wife. Anton marries to Grace. Now Anton and Grace, they make two children, Shane and Sue. Okay? So anytime you get your diagram, your family tree, always try to analyze it first. Okay? So question 43. Shane wants to share a mango with his sibling. Which of the following would get a mango? Is it A. Sue, B. Kim, C. Margaret, or D. Grace? Who would get a mango?
Miss it's A.
A.
She only has one sibling.
Very good. Sue.
A.
So Kadari cannot get a mango then. Kadari cannot get a mango. Jay cannot get a mango. No? Yes?
No, because they are the same.
Right, very good. So yes, so Shane only has one sibling, and that sibling is Sue. So Sue would get the mango. Question 44. Which of the following drug is classified as a depressant? Is it A. Marijuana, B. Cigarettes, C. Alcohol, or D. Steroids? Very good. C. Alcohol. Very good. Question 45. Which of the following is not, remember that, is not a major social issue in the Caribbean? Is it A. Teenage pregnancy, B. Slavery, C. Drug abuse, or D. Bullying?
D.
Mr.
Hey, I ain't B, I ain't D. Oh Lord. Mm-mm.
B.
B for butterfly.
You have to think of the one that making more sense. You know that even though bullying is not necessarily a major issue, but it is still an issue. Then we look at B, slavery. Do we still have slavery in the Caribbean?
No, miss.
Yes.
Exactly. So you have to have reasoning. It's not just saying an answer. It's not just choosing any answer you see. You guys must have reasoning. Which one makes the most sense? We know bullying is not a major issue, social issue in the Caribbean, but we know it is an issue, right? But slavery, whereas long before slavery was a major issue, but right now it is not. So therefore the correct answer for number 45 would be B. Does everybody understand that?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Yes, miss.
Somebody hand went up? Yes,
Yes, miss.
Kelly?
Miss, it was by mistake.
Okay, no problem. Alright, let's move on to question 46. Alright, social change. Number 46. John lives in Marigot and wants to invite his friend Marcus, who lives in Layu, on a hiking trip. Which of the following is the fastest method for John to invite Marcus? Is it A, writing a note and giving it to a bus driver? Is it B, asking his father to pass the message on his way to work? Is it C, sending a message through WhatsApp to Marcus's parents? Or is it D, riding his new bike to Layu to ask Marcus's parents? Number 46. Which one
Miss
will you choose?
C.
Very good.
It's C.
Good. Remember, we are talking about social. Right.
T.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes.
John buys a new bike. You don't know how to ride it.
What did he say? John has a
I
bike and.
said John got a new bike. He don't even know how to ride it.
Oh, well, that would be an
So
issue.
he could trip and fall and hurt himself. Writing a note and giving it to a bus driver, it could be a bus driver that going another way. His
Mhm.
father could be going to a business away from Layu, so the best answer would be C.
All right, very good. I love your analysis. Very good. So remember, we are talking about social change. That is the way in which, well, that is when we think of technological change and all these different changes that we now have in society. So whereas before it didn't have WhatsApp, it maybe had BBM. You guys know what BBM?
No, miss. No, miss.
No,
Miss.
miss.
You know what? Never mind. Okay. And now I feel like a dinosaur. BBM was BlackBerry Messenger. You guys know about BlackBerry? BlackBerry phones?
Yes,
No,
miss.
miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Oh, some of you know. Some of you know. All
It's
right.
telephone booths.
No, not the cell phone booster. Net. BlackBerry. It was a black phone, right? And it had buttons on it. It was like the upgraded version of a Nokia.
Yes,
Yeah,
miss.
it was a bougie Nokia phone. And then
Oh,
there was one where it was sliding out, it was touch screen, and then the
Yes, I
buttons were
have it in
hidden.
my antique box.
Ah, okay, yes. So yeah, that was some good time back. Yeah, so writing a note and giving it to a bus driver, that is a long time thing. You don't have to do that anymore because we have WhatsApp, we have Telegram, we have Instagram, we have Messenger, we have everything to make it easier for us. I can message somebody now and the message reaches to Trinidad or wherever it may be in seconds once the person is connected to Wi-Fi or data connection. So the fastest method for John to invite Marcus would be to send a message through WhatsApp to his parents to find out if he could come, so his parents could either say yes, he can come, or you know what, he's preparing for the grade 6 national assessment and he needs to study. He has to go over some topics that I find that he just isn't getting. So no, he cannot come. Okay? So the answer for question 46 is C. Moving on to 47. How can the government of a country bring about social change? Is it A, invest more in outside banks? B, create more jobs? C, try to stay in power? Or D, help the rich get richer? What?
B, create more job.
Very
It's B,
good.
create more jobs.
B
Create
for
more
bat.
jobs.
B.
Excellent.
Bat.
Great.
Bat.
All right, question 48. Only two more to go. Which of the following is a disadvantage of increased internet usage? Important word here is what?
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Very good. Disadvantage. So is it A, more social interaction between people? Is it B, faster ways of getting messages across? Is it C, a source of information for homework? Or is it D, less social interaction between people? What do you guys choose?
Dog. Dog.
D for dog.
Very
Miss
good.
for
D.
Miss D.
Right.
D.
Less social interaction between people because they ask us for the disadvantage. Very good. 49. Andrea has decided to move from her district to work in the city. This type of migration is referred to as, is it A, rural migration, B, internal migration, C, external migration, or D, regional migration? Which one?
B.
B.
Very good. B, internal migration. So internal migration would be like state to state. For example, in the United States, you move from Texas to Boston or Chicago or wherever it may be. And that would be internal migration. Remember, she's moving from a district to work in the city. So that would definitely be internal migration. Look at us reaching to the end of the paper. The last but definitely not least question, number 50. Which of the following is not a recommended practice to minimize the spread of COVID-19 virus? Is it A, social gatherings, B, sanitizing, C, vaccinating, or D, wearing a mask? Sorry.
It's A.
Very good.
Miss
A for
A.
apple, social
Alpha.
A.
Alpha.
gatherings.
Alpha.
Very good. Excellent work, guys. So on a scale to 1 to 10, how hard did you guys find these papers?
It's easy.
Easy.
Zero.
Mm.
Miss Hong say it was very easy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good,
So
but
that
the
means,
real one that we are going to do will be hard.
well, not if you study and if you put your mind towards it, it won't be hard. Remember, your social studies exam it has 4 sections: location and people, civic ideals and practices, resources, and social issues and change. Now, if you want to ensure that you get everything correct, all you do is that you ensure that you have studied everything under these sections, right? How hard is that?
Easy.
Very hard at all. That's easy.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to study, we're going to stay abreast with the news, local, regional, and international. We're going to keep on reading, keep on studying, and we're going to ensure that we get the scholarships. How many of you believe that you can get scholarships at the exam? Say me.
Me and zero.
Me.
All right, everybody here has the potential to get scholarships, and as a matter of fact, I want one of you guys to get the Island Scholarship, and it could be any one of you guys. How many of you believe you can get the Island Scholarship?
Me.
Me.
Very good, very good. So,
Just putting pressure on.
what's that? It putting pressure?
Me.
If you put your mind towards it, Katie, best believe Katie Ferrara is going to become the island scholar. Right, Katie? Right, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, driving. Anyway, so yeah, so we have come to the end of our past paper revision. That was the 2022 past paper, and we will do another paper next time, right?